What's up, guys? Today is going to be a fun test. I got some gel downrange behind me at 100 yards. So I'm going to be doing another 6.5 versus 308 comparison. I did one of these a couple years ago, and I was using factory ammo for the 6.5 and hand loads for the 308, so not 100% even comparison. Also, I was shooting the same block that day. So today I got 4 blocks down in the range. All 4 are fresh blocks, but 2 of them are brand new. So the first block that the bullets will be getting shot into are brand new blocks. Then the backup blocks are just remelted, but they're fresh, no bullet, wounds or anything in those. So it should be a nice even comparison. So I'm going to show you what we're working with. I got my Ruger American Go Wild in my chassis. This is my 308. This is a 22-inch barrel. This is a Remington 700 and 6.5, and this is a 24-inch barrel, so the 6.5 has an advantage in barrel length. So I went to Walmart and picked up some ammo. Got some Federal power-shok here, 150s in the 308, 140s in the 6.5. I figured I'd do close to bullet weight so we can see the comparison with kind of same weight bullets. And I picked up some Deer Season XP bullets, Winchester, so I got the copper ones and the lead ones. Copper ones I've done videos on with both of these calibers, so I'm not going to shoot those today. The standard lead core ones, I did a video with the 6.5. I have not shot the 308s though, so I'm going to shoot the 308 and then I'll probably take a shot with the 6.5 just to kind of confirm the last video's results, and we'll see how it compares. So with this, you got a 150 and a 125, so 25 grain difference in weights, where with the Federals we're close, it's only a 10 grain difference. So I'm going to strap the magneto speed on the gun, take a few shots at the target, confirm point of impact and velocities, and then we're going to shoot the gel and see what happens. Alright, so average of 2770, so about 50 feet per second slower than box. If this is a 24-inch barrel, we'd probably be closer to 2800. So not bad. Take one. So average 2775, SD of 2, so pretty much the same velocity as those Federals. Not too bad. So let me switch over to the 6.5 Creedmoor and then we'll get to the gel test. .2820. So we have an average of 2850, which I believe is exactly what the box says. Let me check the box. Yeah, it's exactly what the box says, so that's pretty damn good. And 2744, so we have an average of 2749, which is exactly what the box said. So the 6.5 Creedmoor shooting box velocities, the 308 was a little slow. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the target. I was shooting the 308 at the top. This was the power-shok here, so like 3 inches apart, but that's with the magneto speed on the barrel. Move over here to the Winchester. I'm low, but the shots are pretty close. Move down to the 6.5. The Winchester's on the left here, so there's one by the 308 and another one over here, so not so good. Move over to the power-shok, and they're pretty much touching, so seems like the magneto speed could affect it, could not, who knows. We're going to shoot the power-shok and the gel first. So as you can see, each gun's got a brand new block in the front, and then the backup blocks are blocks that have been remelted. So we're going to start off with the 6.5 Creed. Alright, 6.5, 140 power-shok. Nice impact, and the bullet is right there. I would say 4 to 5 inches into the second gel box, so it should be 20 to 21 inches of penetration. Looks nice and mushroom, but it's hard to tell. Nice solid wound track, open up pretty quick and carried almost to the end of the block. Alright, pretty good. Let's get the 308 set up. Alright, another solid hit with the 308. Bullet came in, stopped, probably about the same as the 6.5 Creed. Nice wound channel. So if you look at these two, when I get home I'll clear up these blocks with the torch. Very similar. 308's definitely bigger in the beginning. All that black is from the gel burning as it expands and compresses. So that's a sign that there was a bigger temporary stretch cavity. It does seem to taper off a little bit quicker than the 6.5 though. So pretty similar performance, pretty similar penetration. Curious to see how these bullets compare when we dig them out of the gel. Good performance. I mean, the velocities are almost the same. 6.5 is given advertised velocity, with the 308's 50 feet per second slower. But 308 is definitely a larger wound channel in the beginning. Tapers off a little quickly, but it's a bigger bullet. So let's take a shot with those Deer Season XPs and see how those perform. We're going to start with the 308 since I got the camera on the side already. Alright guys, so that Winchester Deer Season XP through this block. Hold on 1 second. Let me put this back how it was. Block's a little dirty. Oh wow. So you can see the power shock there. Here's the Deer Season. That bullet pretty much exploded, and that's all that's left right here. I mean, that's like 12 inches of penetration, maybe. Can't really see good from that side, but there's pretty much nothing left of that bullet. It looks like some pieces, something exited here, and then something, oh look, the jacket exited out of the bottom, I believe, here. Must have hit the board. So alright, so something would have went a little bit further, but this is definitely pretty shitty performance. Take a shot with the 6.5s, but I already shot these before, so they kind of did the same thing but did somewhat hold together. So I'm going to take another shot with them and see how they perform compared to last time. Alright, so the Deer Season definitely did better than the 6.5. It made it just into the second block. It's like right there. Looks pretty mangled, but did somewhat hold together. The 308, I mean, it just blew apart and veered out the side or the bottom. So overall, not bad. Let me get these blocks home. We'll clean them up and get a better look at everything. Alright guys, so I want to do a quick frame by frame of the slow motion between the 6.5 and the 308, just to show you. So 308 here, you see it start to expand, and then it continues to expand. I get a huge expansion here, then it collapses back down. So that's pretty much max expansion. Now if we go to the video of the 6.5 here, bear with me. The 6.5, we get this expansion here, and then it's pretty much over. It collapses and it goes back up a little bit there, but that's after it collapses. That's not it continuing to expand like the 308. So just a little bit of a difference between the two. Alright guys, so I got the blocks home now. We got the 308 here and the 6.5 here. It was hard to tell the best way to actually check out the wound channels. Kind of like the black background with the cleaning mat down there. So this is that 150 Federal right there. Nice big wound channel. Quite explosive. You can see all the burning in there from when the temporary stretch cavity collapsed on itself. Here's the 6.5 in here with that Federal, the 140 grain. So not as big, but it did kind of carry a little bit further where the 308 tapered off. So 308 tapers off really at the 11-inch mark or so, where it seems like, you know, that 6.5 might have carried to the 13-inch mark. So the 308, we got 20.5 inches of penetration. It's amazing how dark these blocks get after being melted a few times. And then the 6.5, we were at 22 inches. So 1.5 inches more. I kind of thought the 6.5 might penetrate a hair more. So I'm going to flip these blocks real quick. Which way am I going? Bear with me 1 second. Let me put the camera down. Just to give you another look at the wound channel. So the 308 is very three-dimensional. When you look at it from all sides, it's nice and big, where the 6.5 is a little bit flatter. And then those Winchester bullets, that's the 6.5 there in the back. That one penetrated through and stopped right here, so just into this block. We'll call it 17 inches. 308 just completely blew up, and then chunks flew out the bottom here, so I would say 15 inches or so. So when it comes to those Winchester XP, I think the 6.5 definitely wins. And it's probably because it's a smaller diameter bullet, so less drag means less friction pulling that bullet apart. Where the 308 just completely fragmented. I mean, kill a deer probably, but I certainly would not use that bullet. So let's pull out these bullets and we'll take some measurements. Alright, so I got the bullets dug out, and one thing I noticed real quick is that these Federal bullets are not the same bullets. So this is the 6.5. This is clearly a Federal Fusion bullet. For example, this is a Federal Fusion I shot out of my 6.8 SPC. You can tell the way that these pedal back and the way the lead sticks to those pedals that this is a bonded bullet. I've heard that Federal loads fusions in the power shocks, but I don't think they do it in all of them. I don't know, is it just certain calibers, or they load them up when they run out of regular bullets? Because the normal ones, I believe, are Spear hot cores, which is what this 308 looks like. You know, this is a standard cup and core bullet. If you look at the base, it's a flat base bullet, where this 6.5 has a little bit of a boat tail. Here's those Winchester bullets, the 6.5 held together, and 308, this is all you got. Now, taking a look at the actual projectiles themselves, you can see two completely different bullets. So, not exactly the fair comparison that I was hoping for. I thought they were going to be the same bullets, but it is what it is. Another thing just to show, sometimes it's hard to show how much bigger 308 really is than 6.5, but if you look at spent brass, you can really tell. You know, it's only a couple hundredths of an inch, but it is a fairly, you know, big difference looking at spent brass like this. Alright, so let's take some measurements. So the 6.5, we started with 140 grains, and we're at 138. So that's almost 100% weight retention. Very nice. Now we will go with the 150 grain 308. 145, that's actually better than I was expecting for a non-bonded bullet. Not bad. And then the Winchester, the 6.5, we started with 125 and we ended up at 82, which is, I believe, the same kind of weight that I got the last time I shot these. And then the 308, all we got left is this chunk of lead and a jacket. So 77 grains, so that's only about 50% weight retention. I'm going to call that bullet a complete failure. That's just junk in my opinion. So we'll take some measurements. So this 308, 0.73 inches wide, 0.72. So very nice expansion. The 6.5, 0.7, 0.7, so pretty much equally. So the 308 did get a little bit wider, which is probably why it stopped a touch shorter. Then the Winchester, we'll measure the 6.5, 0.63. So all these bullets, definitely 2x expansion plus. I'm not even going to bother to measure this 308 Winchester. So it's hard to say which one really won. I kind of would call it a wash. If the 308 was actually doing the velocities it was supposed to, it would have been a little bit more impressive, but it's kind of slow. I mean, my hand loads with 150 grain bullets out of that 22-inch barrel do about 2950, so, you know, that's 200 feet per second faster than this box Federal, where the 6.5 was definitely moving along, so I don't think a deer would notice if you shot it with either one of these rounds. So next, I want to get some pork shoulders and actually shoot some flesh. We'll see if you can tell a difference in flesh and stretch it out to 300 yards and see at that distance, is the 6.5 starting to pull away from the 308, or is it about the same still? Like always, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.